Dude, I don't even have my headphones on.
I don't know if anybody if anybody noticed, but last week was the Italian Grand Prix.
Oh, was that what that was?
That's what that was, man.
All that hype?
Yeah,
We watched it together, and I barely noticed.
Yeah, Jesus Christ! I had way more fun talking to the other people that like were there watching. Oh, by the way, thanks to everybody that came out to yet again to F1 at Betty's, to the new and redesigned Betty's.
Yeah.
It's still upstairs at Betty's. We're still gonna keep doing these and for the rest of the season. But yeah, F1 at Betty's, thanks to Dave, showed up again. We had like a couple of
Travis
of like our
core group
showed up again. Yeah,
excellent.
The super fans.
The super fans.
John Malone, be proud of us.
But for sure, thanks to everybody that showed up to F1 at Betty's. The race wasn't great, but they can't all be hungry, I guess. But does anybody remember what actually happened in the race?
I believe
Lewis
Hamilton
fell back and then
didn't win.
Pulled it off.
He
came back in
win.
second.
He didn't win. That's
He dropped back to 6th, came back to second. That's pretty good.
He did that.
Not as good as winning,
As much as the Sky Boys wanted that to happen.
The crowd was great though, right? Lots of people showed up.
Huge, man. It was huge.
Apparently, that was one of the biggest last year too. I think attendance. This was a stupid headline in the New European papers though. 10% more people showed up, so they were extra concentrated on increasing security to avert any terror activities.
Oh my god!
Yeah, like, shut the fuck up with it.
Oh my god!
What I loved. Okay, so I put this. Open a new like Chrome window, and look for Lega Nord. Lega.
Yeah.
Space. Nord. Lega Nord. Okay, yeah, so image of this.
What is this?
So, are you showing this?
Yep.
Looks a bit like this guy.
So
looks like this guy with a pot leaf beside him.
Especially this. A lot of people saw this. There was a guy with a huge flag on the podium ceremony in Monza that had this symbol in it.
Then they all yelled 420 and rolled a joint.
No,
I saw that. I did see that.
Yeah.
I made a joint about marijuana. I mean, a joke about marijuana.
Yeah, no. What this is, in case anybody was wondering, this is the flag of the Lega Nord, which is the Italian separatist.
I'm just gonna say, are they some sort of rebel group?
No. They wanna break up Italy into two parts.
Security,
the south
man.
of Italy, keep it.
What was security doing, man? They couldn't even keep that flag up.
No idea, man.
Jesus.
But so they want to split the north of Italy because apparently Italy is like a divided country where the north is where the money is and the south is where the peasants live. So the north, the equivalent of Trump supporters in Italy, like this is their banner. This is like
build a wall across the center of Rome.
This is like racing the fucking Confederate flag like willy nilly, and this is what was happening at the podium at Monza. In case anybody was wondering.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I didn't know those facts.
Yeah.
I was not aware.
So you're a racist.
Yeah.
Bum,
Funny.
bum, bum,
Me
bum, bum, bum.
So, but anyway, yeah, what an uneventful race. It was good to see Lewis come up from the back, but we all knew that was going to happen. We knew that the Ferrari had, if anything, they probably did Vettel was probably pressing that 100% button the entire race. Hundo P. Just fucking.
You want to know a crazy fact about Lewis Hamilton?
Yeah.
This weekend, he became the driver with the most starts with a single manufacturer's engine ever. So Michael Schumacher did 180 starts with a Ferrari engine. So Hamilton's now got a 181 on a Mercedes.
Oh my god!
Powered car. Yeah.
Look at that. That's
Stupid.
impressive.
One of those useless facts, but whatever.
Right? No, that's still pretty cool though. Good for him.
Yeah.
Hey, hang on a second.
What are you typing there?
I'm gonna put. I'm gonna bring up another cool, interesting fact about Lewis. All right.
Oh, okay.
Because apparently, hang on a second, let me just pull this up here.
I keep looking at Nick's face here, and he's like, "What the fuck is this guy talking about?"
What are you guys talking about?
Hang on a second.
Some of these names sound familiar.
Okay.
What the fuck is a Mercedes?
What? Yeah. What is a Mercedes?
What is a Mercedes?
What is it?
Stripper you guys hang out with?
Sometimes. Shit. Okay. I don't. Oh wait. Hang on a second. I think.
A Mercedes is like if you erase 3 of those leaves from the separatist flag
Okay. Here.
and paint it silver.
Oh, yeah.
So
There you go.
we posted a tweet earlier about how freaking like after last weekend. This is I was watching Peter Windsor's like his little YouTube thing that he does, right?
Oh,
And he was like,
He like selfies himself while he's driving around.
I think he has like a few like
I'm sure he has
things
one
like
of those
glued
suction
onto
cups
it.
on
Yeah,
his whatever.
Yeah. So and he was like just basically saying how like, oh my god, like he was like basically talking about how quickly the media turned around and like say that like all of a sudden Lewis isn't working just because just because Nico won twice in a row, etc. etc.
He's got a clutch.
But everything that he said, like he put out 3 videos about Monza race. Even one video was supposed to be about Ferrari. But he brought up Lewis all over again, and I was thinking, man, like come on, man, like I know I get it. Like Lewis is a great driver and whatever, but just because you're British, you don't just need to be like fucking Lewis this and like he's a Christ second coming. And I commented that on like somebody else's thread on Reddit under our freaking account. And this is what somebody like replied and like you know how like
Oh, better put up my glasses.
you mean one of only 2 drivers on the grid to win 3 or more championships, the only driver on the grid to win championships with 2 different teams, one of only 4 drivers on the grid to beat a former world champion in the same machinery, the only guy on the grid to beat Alonso in the same car, and the guy most likely to win this his 4th championship. You have to admit that Lewis is distinguished from his peers.
Didn't Stoffel Van Dorn beat Alonso in the same car?
Yes,
Oh
it
my
did.
That's probably like one of the like I appreciate all the references
Yeah,
that
right,
man
yeah.
made, and good on him. But I mean, like that is just like, how dare you?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
have you seen all these facts I've just listed?
It's actually.
It took a few bags of Doritos to flock all those facts down.
Throw out your keyboard
Man,
because it's
that's-
covered in Dorito dust.
That's not the point. The point is that like the British media, and we all love the. Okay, if you're getting enough into F1,
I like Hamilton. I like him too.
We
man.
do. We all do. We haven't said anything wrong about Hamilton ever. Just like tone it down,
Dude,
man. Like
yeah.
other things
The fandom.
actually happened.
Still waiting for the mixtape though. What the fuck?
Yo, that's never gonna drop.
Yo, Danny Rick might put one out before.
Yeah, no. It dropped from heaven and it's going straight to hell.
Anyway, Monza. What everybody else did. Stories from the paddock of Monza, though.
Yeah, right.
Aplenty.
Yeah, Jensen Button, obviously.
Okay, so
taking a sabbatical.
well, one of the stories was right at the first corner,
So not
whatever.
Jensen.
No, not Jensen. Not about Jensen. But we'll get to Jensen.
Yeah.
But one of the big stories is that right at the first corner, there was like the 3-1 Max Verstappen with Kimi Raikkonen v Vettel, right?
Right.
Everybody's talked about it. Everybody has a fucking opinion on that. But one thing that I found interesting is because I didn't have time to really get into like a ton of F1 this past weekend, I actually watched the post qualifying press conference and the Thursday with the driver's press conference. I watched that after the race, right?
Ooh, interesting.
Right, and so one of the things
Was it
that,
like when you read a Choose Your Own Adventure and you read like afterwards and before, and
yeah,
you're
yeah.
like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah, exactly, something like that. And Vettel clearly, so after qualifying, because Ferrari was 3-4, Vettel got asked, like he got asked about the first corner. He basically like, so one of the reporters was said like, oh, like you're starting beside your teammate, like do you think this is gonna become a problem down the first corner? And this is what Vettel said. He was like, oh, obviously, with your teammate while going to the first corner, you try to make some concessions because you want both cars to finish. And he gave the level-headed answer. Bullshit. He went careening straight into fucking Raikkonen because he thought that it was only Raikkonen that was there and he wanted to run him off the road. That's what he admitted to doing after, and that's why this whole thing.
Yeah, I did it.
But it's just the fucking nerve before the race saying, "Oh no, we're teammates." Like it is in the best interest of the team for both cars to finish the race. Bullshit. You're full of shit, Vettel.
I did the opposite this weekend. I had so much free time. Like on Friday, I set my alarm clock for 3:45 a.m. so I could watch the free practice. And I seriously hurt my jaw. Like that was last Friday. I might I might still go see a doctor. Yeah, I got up right. I went to bed like still 11 or 12, like whatever.
Like a regular human being
on Thursday, yeah. And then Friday morning I set it for 3:45 and I was yawning so hard. My jaw popped on the right side. Man, yesterday I had some hamburgers for dinner. I almost couldn't finish. I let the second one get cold and it got harder. I could barely chew through it. Like
just blend it, man. Just put it in a blender.
Yeah, it's on the right side only. It popped
hamburger
away.
Smoothie.
It's been a whole week now. Tomorrow's Friday. My jaw hurts, man.
Yeah, but just be glad there's no race this weekend.
You might want to come up with a cooler story than you fucked it up yawning.
You should have seen the other guy.
That's my dedication.
No, but seriously. So yes, so Buttons out of F1.
Yeah, so is Mazza.
Sorry, we're losing some frames here, guys.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. Usually in the evening, for some reason, it always gives me a bit of trouble.
Those motherfuckers coming back from work.
Yeah.
All those people on
Those
the
9 to 5ers.
information superhighway causing traffic.
Jesus. Button is not actually leaving
He's
F1.
not right. He's an ambassador.
Massa is.
Mazza is.
Yeah.
Massa's seat. Well, let's talk about Massa's seat in a second. Button. Not leaving. He's still going to be associated with McLaren. Who's taking his seat?
Some sort of
Stoffel
brand
Van Dorn.
ambassador type
How
of
long?
thing.
That's exciting.
Right? Stoffel.
Yeah,
An F1 seat permanent.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
F1.
Well, I mean, because
with maybe a resurgent McLaren, eh?
Right. Well, because McLaren was coming back, right, with like a weird engine that they weren't really on top of. Had 2 veteran drivers coming in, and that doesn't really leave a lot of room for growth, right? And so like you bring someone new in to get their feet wet and get them into the paddock essentially, right? And I think that's great. I love it.
Fucking the guy, dude. He fucking had one job to do, and he did it right. He scored the first points for McLaren this season, right?
Yep.
And he read the entire fucking thick manual on how to operate the steering wheel on his flight from Japan overnight. Got in the car the next day and fucking killed it, right? So, buddy, like he needs,
he knows what's good.
Come on. He's got the seat, and he had been threatening that if McLaren basically didn't give him that seat, he was gonna fuck off somewhere else.
The opposite end of that spectrum, my dad got a smartphone like a year ago, and he pocket dials me at least once a week still. At least. Charlie Whiting also stepping down.
Rumored.
Maybe Button can step up.
He's rumored to do. He's rumored.
Well, I think the rumors go a bit deeper because his contract ends this year. His contract was, I think, signed in '96 or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And this past weekend, he was going around to all the teams and saying, "Hey, looking for a job. You guys want to hire me?"
Yeah.
So he's trying to.
Come on, I'm Charlie.
Yeah. Who wouldn't want to hire the race director to their team?
Yeah, 100.
You get a little inside info. He knows all the details about everybody else, right? Yeah. Every detail.
Every single one.
Every detail that must be
not
disclosed,
only that,
he's got that.
Not only that, but like he also has, he has a lot of experience in terms of
sit up on that perch.
The regulation
over the checkered line.
You can't if you have a person so you typically have a person in your team, and I think in the preseason, Ted made a big deal about talking to whoever this person was at Toro Rosso, that his whole job or most of his job is to know what the rules are. Right, if every team has a guy that knows whether or not something is going to be
the regulatory department.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Keep up with
Charlie Whiting made the rules, so he would be a definite asset to any team. Yeah. And he would know, he would know how are the stewards going to react to this. What do you think that we can get away with? Loopholes, that kind of shit. So that's his value.
The big sticker in the him not getting re-signed or whatever is Jean Todt wasn't the president at the time that Charlie Whiting came in, and now he is, and they're not buddies. So
of course. Jean Todt is a politician. He wants to bring another Frenchman in.
Yeah. So yeah, they're not exactly buddies, and he will not extend or renew his contract.
Well, because Charlie does what Bernie tells him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's a whole. It's good timing though, because the purchase and all that.
Oh yeah.
So hopefully,
maybe Charlie can go to Liberty Media. Anybody?
he's gonna go grow a mustache, and then
compete with those guys.
Ingratiate himself to their team with his mustache. What about Carlos Slim?
Well, that's what I was saying. Like,
Force Mexico?
Yeah, Fuerza Mexico.
There was a rumor. It's not happening.
No, but fucking Sky and taking over F1 was a rumor for a while. Mm-hmm. There might still be something to that. These people might not be completely out of the blue. He might still become like something like a principal sponsor kind of to the team, and be like, if he's the one giving all the money, he's the one making the rules. Let's be honest.
At the end of that line, Perez said, "What's happening is what I always wanted, and I'm happy. We'll find out before next week."
Yeah, we'll do. We will.
Before Singapore.
The Mazza seat. Could we talk about that?
Yeah.
Is there anything coming out of that?
Felipe Mazza, after like enjoying a very successful career and coming so close to being world champion. So close.
But he didn't.
It's one of like, it is you couldn't make this shit up. Nick, okay, you don't.
I told my friend who he does this face every time I talk about F1. And I showed him a clip of his retirement. They did that whole, they showed this whole story, and he's like, okay, I get it.
Okay, so the championship was tight this one year.
2008.
Yeah, and
the financial collapse.
Right. Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
It was a big one.
I never had any money to begin with, so.
Yeah. So. Anyway, so it was the championship came down to the very last race. Okay, in between. So the way that you accumulate points in F1 is where you end up in each race. Right, and it's there's so many races a year, and eventually whoever has more points becomes a champion. Then whoever has it then goes down like that. And it had come down to the last race, and this is one of the things that's exciting. One of the last races of the year, and these two drivers, Lewis Hamilton and Felipe Massa, were basically in the contention.
I recognize that guy.
Buddy over
Hamilton,
here? Yeah. And it had come down to the last race. Not only had it come down to the last race, is that that race where it was all to play for Felipe Massa was actually like he was finishing second, but all he had to do, he thought, was finish so far ahead of this guy that then mathematically like everything would he'd have more points in the end. And when he finished the race, when he crossed the finish line, that situation happened. So like he had enough points ahead of Lewis that if Lewis who was further behind, if everything had ended the way so if Lewis had finished at the same spot that he was at when he actually finished the race, he was a champion. To the point that in the Ferrari garage, his team Ferrari, like his family started like jumping and making a big deal, and like Buddy started crying. There was this whole thing.
His dad was there.
But then Lewis was chasing the guy in front of him hard, like fighting to the very last corner, and at the very last corner, the guy that he was chasing spun off, and Lewis overtook him, and that put the math in his favor. And then when Lewis ended, like 20 seconds later, after this guy, he was champion for 20 seconds. Then he was champion.
So we can't show this on the podcast here, but this 2000. One second. Here you go. So here's his dad. Here's him. He just came over the line. He's clapping. He's in Brazil. He's crying. This is 2008.
Oh yeah, he's in Brazil. He's in his home
country in Brazil. Okay, well, that's all they showed. But yeah, his dad was crying.
Everybody,
Lewis Hamilton,
and then they had to like. So after like he was mid celebration, and then Lewis did this thing and actually won the championship that year. And his engineer had to be like, Felipe, hang on. No, sorry, Lewis overtook whoever. Sorry, man.
Who was
That'll
it?
ruin your whole day.
Yeah.
You know, that's like...
That'll ruin your
like
life.
life. Yeah. And after that, he actually never recovered. He never recovered from that, and maybe not because of he lost skill or whatever. Yes, correct.
And then there it is. He's won since then.
Since then, 3 more.
And you're like,
Or no, sorry, 2 more. Jeez, I'm talking as if he was already the champion, but he's not. No. If he wins this year, he'll be his 4th championship. But so far, he's a triple world champion.
Yeah, look at this clip. I'm gonna
Mazza
show him right
is
now.
0 world champion.
I set YouTube to 1/4 speed. This is Hungary 2009. Just
Yeah, so the next year after this, he got hit in the head by
watch.
a
You see
spring.
that? Boom. You see that came in?
It's a spring that
That's-
came out of the transmission from the
I'll show you in a second, Mike.
suspension of the car head.
Yeah, and it hit him in the fucking
And then
head.
then
he
look
got
at
a
this. He's
coma.
actually
Right there,
going
no.
like 250 kilometers an hour. Boom. Ended up in a coma. That put him in a coma.
Oh my god.
That spring hit him at about 250 kilometers an hour. Same dude.
Yeah, that'll ruin your day too.
After that, Ferrari though was gracious enough and like in what I perhaps think was one of Ferrari's noblest move, they actually kept him in the team for years after that, even when he actually couldn't show up to like most of the races for the rest of this year. So basically this was halfway through the year, and they just had to put somebody else in the car, but Ferrari still kept him on the payroll and gave him his job back once he got better, and nurtured him as a driver still, and they actually tried their best to like make him a good driver, but then Fernando Alonso came and etc.
Felipe is faster than you.
No, Alonso.
Yeah,
Fernando is faster than
You understand, Felipe?
Anyway, sad story. This guy's finally retiring from F1. 0 championships. He's trying to like keep like a brave face on and like say that like he achieved his dreams and whatever. But Felipe, you could have done something. At the end of the day, it didn't happen. Sorry, bud.
Next lifetime.
Yeah, yeah. You get an infinite amount of tries. Don't worry.
Yeah. Reincarnate as like an eagle or something.
Or Lewis.
Just be Lewis.
Second place isn't so bad, Fuck.
No one remembers second place.
I'd love to just sit in one of those cars.
Wouldn't it be great?
Yeah, just sit for a second. Yeah.
He's like he already being an F1 driver. He achieved his childhood dream.
Yeah, he did.
I've never felt 900 horsepower.
Yeah, or close to 1,000 now.
Yeah.
Felipe leaves, and that leaves
a spot for Williams.
That leaves a spot in Williams, which, if you look at the way that the championship, that the cars are right now, and like who's dominant. So yes, right now they're the 5th team down the line, but all the spots above all like the Williams seats have been filled and are contractually locked for next year.
Oh, really?
So they had the last seat there was a question mark beside, right? Who takes that seat?
Canada.
Yes, we do.
No,
buddy,
no.
we're talking about Lance Stroll. From Montreal. Lance Stroll has 30 million ready to go, ready to spend on an F1 seat and the talent to back him up. And he's winning the European Formula 3 championship right now.
I think
he's
as
killing
of now,
it.
He's mathematically guaranteed second place in the championship.
He's killing it. He's
Yeah.
killing for European Formula 3.
He doesn't
The
have
kid
to race
has
the rest of the
talent,
season, and he's in second
and
place.
he has 30 million to go. And he's already the Williams development driver. I see Lance Stroll there sitting cozy in next year's car
You got
in
your
Formula
red,
1.
You got your red and white shirt on. You got your red shirt on.
Boom.
Did my
I'm
notes in red today?
Oh, that's so exciting.
We might see a
You're gonna
Canadian,
see the Canadian
in
flag.
F1.
You can see the flag on the top of that car beside his name and number.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
They're
sure.
going to rename that goddamn island.
The Lance Stroll Island.
That's sacrilege.
No, yeah,
No, they would never do
Salugio.
that. Yeah.
But no, seriously, we're gonna
Don't make another island.
we're gonna find like we might have a Canadian driver on the grid. Not only a Canadian driver, but a Canadian driver with like in the points, like in the midfield. And Williams is not gonna sit pretty. Like they are actually one of like the teams with enough resources to actually make it back up. They could like this year maybe it was a blunder for them, and they pretty much admitted like 3 races in that they had taken.
Wrong turn in Albuquerque.
This is the one of the kind of shitty things, but also very interesting things in F1 is that right now in F1 right now you start the year knowing like a lot of like theory, because you're not allowed to test your car other than like in the prescribed testing. So you design your car, you design, and these things take like, so the teams right now are already not just working on next year's car, but the 2018 cars. Because
apparently Honda set up a whole second team to work on next year's engine.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah. So because there's so many like things that could affect it, but they can't test these cars that they're designing even 2 years out until they actually get the time allotted to them. And Williams, this team that we're talking about, started this year with an idea and with like a design philosophy for their current car that they thought was going to give them an edge. When it actually came to practice, they realized that they fucked something up, they miscalculated something, and because reverting those changes is not very easy at all, because even if you made like a miscalculation on a part this big that goes to the back of the car, because everything is so streamlined to feed into that, you can't just swap that out, because a little piece like this at the back of the car affects the way that the whole front wing looks. So yeah, and it's money and it's time and it's people's minds and time and whatever. So they decided, or like whatever, they knew that like they had taken a wrong turn in the design philosophy early on, and this year they haven't been doing that good. But if they do well next year, they are a team with enough resources to do really well. That's the point. So not only do we have the opportunity or like the chance that a Canadian might end up in the grid next year, but he might end up with a half decent car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could
How
be
exciting is that?
It could be super cool.
So I put my arms up, and that means a lot.
Okay, so and this is another one that I like, and this is why I think that it's credible. It's because the only other option or whatever, like the only other name that has been floated is Felipe Nasser. And Felipe
To Williams?
Yes. Felipe Nasser's transition to Williams would actually be it would kind of make sense, because Mazza leaving still like leave some of the Brazilian sponsors in place at Williams,
and everyone that works there wouldn't even really have to learn a new name, especially the British people, because they can't pronounce the difference anyways. There's two drivers called Felipe Mazza, the dude we just talked about who retired, and there's a young guy called Felipe Nasser. But when the British commentators always say it, they're like Felipe Massa, Felipe Nasser.
You know how like, they pronounce error as
It's R as in
yeah.
It's Massa and NASR. Two different names. There's also two guys named Nico. Two guys called Sebastian.
There's two Estebans.
Two Sebastians.
Yeah, two Estebans.
Wait,
Yeah.
who's the next Sebastian? I don't.
Oh yeah, sorry, I fucked up. Yeah. Yeah, there's too many double names. It's ridiculous. Somehow.
So, but Felipe Nasser would make sense in terms of Brazilian sponsorship.
Pronunciation, confusion.
Yeah, that too. and being number 2 to Bottas. But
Yeah.
I think Stroll if you just look at it in straight math, the numbers make sense, man. He has 30 million ready to go, but
Or one of the colonies.
yeah, but
It just makes sense.
it only makes sense. Well, actually, that is one thing that where it might not make sense, because in terms of F1 audiences, Brazil has way bigger share than Canada.
Right.
Yeah.
We said this a while ago too. His dad, Lance Stroll's dad, at one point rented the entire Williams team for his son to drive the 2014 car. He rented out the whole team. He rented the whole mechanic body of their car and a track.
He's serious. He's serious about
and pushed his son. He rented.
That's the thing. They're actually serious about it.
And Williams was like,
okay, money.
Yeah, you got the money. Let's do it.
Yeah.
We'll show up there with the car.
Yeah.
And the whole 15 guys to turn it on.
Sweet.
And if there was a Canadian driver, I bet you there'd be a lot more Canadians watching it.
There's already a lot more Canadians watching it.
Well, then,
Yeah.
there you go.
Thanks to us.
Yeah.
F1 at Betty's, am I right?
Am I right? Hey, actually, on that note, and actually absolutely not related to that note, but I want to give a shout out, because we sat down yesterday, the day before, and we started looking at the numbers of, like, we hadn't done that in a while, of like where our traffic is coming up. And we got a bunch of people from the Netherlands.
Oh yeah, Netherlanders.
Yo, and Norwegians. Yo, if you're Dutch and the Norwegians.
If you didn't realize, you're like our biggest percent of viewers. It's ridiculous.
Thanks, guys.
All those people are watching us right now.
Thanks, guys.
It's kind of weird. F1 dads. I got one more weird story.
Talk.
Did you know that Jolene Palmer's dad was a Formula One driver?
Yeah, he was Jonathan Palmer. Yeah.
I didn't know
That's
that.
why
Jonathan
they keep
Palmer.
making such a big deal about it. But
Yeah, I guess that's why he's always hanging out there and with
was
his arms
probably-
crossed.
He was probably just as good as Jolyon Palmer. That's the thing.
Yeah, he has 88 starts and 1 fastest lap, no other anything. 0 podiums, 0 wins, 0 championships, 14 points, 0 poles, 1 fastest lap, 83 to 89. He is offered to purchase Silverstone. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
All right.
He has written. We've been talking about. We've been following this for a while now because Jaguar, the international James Bond car manufacturer.
No. That's that's the other one. That's Aston Martin. You're thinking of Aston Martin. Jaguar is something else.
But no, they made Bond cars before.
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think so.
What?
Whatever. Some long British cars.
Yeah.
Anyways, they're
Hey, Jaguar Land Rover. That's the company. The company
Yeah,
is
they're
Jaguar Land Rover.
American
They're
now, right?
no Indian.
Indian.
They're owned by Tata.
Tata.
Ah.
Yeah.
What do I know?
I knew that. Anyways, their 33 million pound bid was blocked by Porsche, as we mentioned, that because Porsche owns like less than 10% of the circuit,
Something like that, yeah.
and they have something in their
Now
contract.
controlling shares. That's why.
They have something in their contract that says there's a certain number of days a year that they get to have the circuit to themselves to
Yeah.
do whatever they want, and nobody's allowed in. And that was the whole thing that stopped it. So Jonathan Palmer wrote a whole letter. Wasn't made public, so I couldn't get any details. But he said he laid out his plan for the future. My son's gonna race here or else. That was something like that. But he wants to buy the whole thing.
But come on. Isn't it time that the British start facing the music regarding Jolyon Palmer and how he's just not great?
Well, and this is Jonathan Palmer. His dad, Jonathan Palmer, is the majority shareholder and CEO of a company called Motorsport Vision,
Okay.
who owns Brands Hatch
Okay.
and 4 or 5 other major circuits in Britain.
Or like Lydon
With
Hill or
their,
something
yeah,
like
they're
that.
not F1 circuits. Brand Hatch was. That's the only one I wrote down because it was an F1 circuit. But yeah, they own a bunch of race circuits already, so it might be legit. It could happen.
He's still not gonna get his son a seat,
No.
whether he owns it or not.
Sorry,
It's-
Jolene.
Yeah,
You
you're not good, man. So Jolly, I mean, dude, you're better than me, right? Like anybody that's in F1 is probably.
Dude,
better
I've seen you play the game, and I worry about you in the car.
Yeah, I'm garbage.
Even
right?
as a
Like-
passenger.
The game Codemasters announced this week that game is gonna come out on Android and iPhones.
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my god.
That's
I don't
retarded.
know. It's-
You're gonna sit there like with your phone as your steering wheel, like. No.
Hard enough watching porn on those things.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you know what? Maybe they'll use it as like a rear view mirror, and like you just set it above your head. It syncs up with your computer, and you're just driving. You just, oh, neat. You just keep on driving.
All right, and Singapore. I guess we'll talk about this next week.
Yeah,
yeah,
we got a
yeah.
lot
of
time.
Let's have a 1 second silence for the Singapore sling. Anyway,
Oh, is it gone?
No,
done.
that happened
It was
a
gone
long
last
time
year.
ago.
I don't know, but I'm gonna remember it forever.
All right.
Yeah, this is a tragic event. Alonso and Hamilton's gonna try out the Halo. There's a little.
Oh, this is McLaren's turn.
Yeah, it's the turn
And
Wait.
Hamilton.
from
First-
Hamilton for
first-
Singapore.
For
At,
test-
at,
Access.
in practice. In
Oh.
practice.
In practice,
practice.
yeah.
Oh,
Whenever they want, I guess they'll run it. Hopefully nobody runs across the track again.
Yeah.
Buddy went to jail half a year last year. And the Zika virus, though, that's the big concern.
Oh, right.
Mosquitoes.
That's why you put the mosquito.
Yeah, Rosberg was
Well,
being a big fucking crybaby like he has
Singapore-
been.
Well, he doesn't
Okay.
want to bring his pixelated son.
here's the,
Put
Is
it
it-
to the
I'm a
track.
family
Pull
man
up-
now.
pull up a
I can't go to Singapore. Somebody got
Yeah.
Zika there.
pull up a picture of Marina Bay, because Marina Bay is like one of like the most beautiful, crazy
Beautiful, yeah.
How do you spell that?
place. Marina, Marina
Bay.
Bay.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, shit. It's one of like the most beautiful places in the world in terms of like human endeavor and like people build that shit.
I went to Maps.
No. Pull up a picture.
Is this not it?
Yes, it is, but pull up a picture
Marina
instead.
Bay sounds like a place.
Yeah, it is a place.
It is.
It is. It's like,
Look at that. Look at that hotel there.
Oh, I thought you were talking about a woman.
No.
Do you see that hotel?
I just heard, oh, it's one of the most beautiful. I was like, oh, all right.
One of the most beautiful man-made. Like,
Okay, Nicholas, do you see that hotel there?
Go
Oh,
up.
yeah.
That looks like it's built to look like there's a cruise ship somehow got beached on top of the 3 buildings.
From
This
here
is
to there. It's all an infinity pool.
It's not as impressive as a hot chick, though. I thought
They've planned ahead for the next 8 decades when global warming happens and the North and South poles melt. That's going to detach and float around the world forever. Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Anyway, like it's like Singapore is like filled with scenes like this. It's a crazy city, and if you're
the night race, all those lights they set up. Oh
yeah.
My goodness!
But if you're a Western viewer, if you're a person like you just
look up Marina Bay Circuit while he's talking.
Yeah, if you watch this race, and this is one of the things that like the F1 media try to like really, really hammer on is that it looks so nice here, but it's fucking hot and humid all the time. It's like Toronto right now, always. Minimum is this. And yeah.
I'd rather die.
And it's actually in, you don't see it there, but it's in the middle of the rainforest. And it's so fucked, man, that before they do the races, and you know, the Singapore government hasn't admitted to this, but they do. But before they do the race, because it always like rains because it's the rainforest, they actually like go around on a plane around the country of Singapore and seed the clouds so that it rains way before it hits the track.
Yeah. Look at some photos though, just like the aerial photos, the illuminated.
Yeah. Look up, Marina Bay Circuit at night or something. This. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Glows.
Yeah. So they race down there. That's where they're going. Not this weekend, but next weekend. It's always an exciting race. It's the most physically demanding race. Most drivers say because of that.
The biggest F1 use of potassium and silver iodide.
They have a button
for cloud seeding.
All of the drivers on the steering wheel that dispenses like this liquid. It's not water. It's like a Gatorade powder basically. It's a protein /
super
electrolyte.
coconut water.
Yeah.
It's like got sugar and salt
because
and protein and juice. Sugar in it.
On average during the duration of a race, drivers in just water weight, they lose 2 kilos. From the beginning of the race, yeah, like it's F1 is a crazy sport, man. But in this one, because it's so hot, this newbie, this rookie to F1 one year was describing how his tank of water, something happened, like some vent got locked or something, like something happened, and he said that every time that he pushed the water button, it was like hot tea pouring into his face. Because it gets so hot out there, man. Yeah. So it was. It's a crazy race. It's coming up. I'm sure we'll talk more about it next week.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
DJ, play us out.
Hey, Alonso. That fastest lap that he pulled.
Oh, how cool was that, man?
Honda's first since Ayrton Senna in 1992. That's what I couldn't find a clip because they all got deleted from the internet because Bernie Ecclestone's an asshole. Fernando laughing his ass off about how ridiculous that was that he got the fastest lap.
Yeah,
that was pretty funny. Yeah. That's it. Turn it off. Turn it off.
See you guys.
Hey, what's that in your hand, Nick? This is a marijuana cigarette.